The crystal chandeliers above the private dining hall glowed softly, but nothing could brighten the heaviness sitting at the center of the table. Plates of expensive food rested untouched, silverware perfectly aligned, servers standing silently at a distance, and there, in the middle of all that luxury, a small boy with trembling shoulders stared down at his napkin, tears slipping quietly onto linen that cost more than most people's monthly rent. This was the son of a millionaire CEO, a child who supposedly had everything money could buy, yet in that moment, he looked like the loneliest boy in the world. Before we go deeper into this story, take a moment to pause. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the quiet miracles that change lives forever, please like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps stories like this reach hearts that are still healing. The boy's name was Ethan, and he was only 8 years old. His father, Marcus Hale, sat across from him, impeccably dressed as always, the same calm authority he carried into boardrooms across the world resting on his shoulders. Marcus Hale was a self-made billionaire, the CEO of a global tech empire, known in business magazines for his ruthless efficiency and unmatched discipline. Investors admired him, competitors feared him, and employees respected him from a distance. But none of that mattered in this room, not when his son was breaking apart right in front of him. Marcus noticed the signs but did not know how to respond. He had grown up believing that problems were solved with logic, planning, and control. When something went wrong, you fixed it or replaced it. But Ethan was not a system error. He was a child drowning in emotions Marcus had never learned how to swim through himself. The boy's mother had passed away 3 years earlier after a sudden illness, and since then, the house had grown unbearably quiet. The staff came and went. Tutors filled schedules, toys arrived in endless boxes, but none of it filled the empty space where warmth used to live. Dinner had become the hardest part of the day. Long tables reminded Ethan of the family they used to be. He remembered laughter echoing through the room, remembered hands reaching for his plate, remembered feeling seen. Now, every meal felt like a reminder of what was gone. That night, the pressure became too much. The silence pressed on him, the weight of grief mixed with confusion, and the tears came without warning. He tried to be strong, the way everyone told him to be, but strength is a heavy thing for a child to carry alone. Marcus cleared his throat, uncomfortable. He gestured for the staff to step back, his instincts telling him privacy mattered, even if he did not know what to do with it. He reached for his napkin, hesitated, then simply sat there, watching his son struggle. His mind raced through solutions therapy appointments, new schools, international trips, but none of them felt right in that moment. What Ethan needed was something Marcus could not buy. At the far end of the dining hall, seated at a smaller table near the wall, was a little girl named Lily. She was 7, small for her age, with careful eyes that noticed things adults often missed. Lily was there because her aunt worked for the Hale Foundation, the charity Marcus funded to support children in foster care and hospitals. That evening, a small group of children had been invited to tour the estate as part of a donor event, and Lily had been included because she had no family of her own to go home to afterward. Lily had grown up moving from one place to another, learning early how to read rooms and people. She knew the sound of loneliness, recognized it the way others recognized music. When she saw Ethan crying, she did not see a billionaire's son. She saw a boy hurting in a way she understood all too well. While adults looked away out of discomfort, Lily felt drawn. Closer, not by curiosity, but by empathy. As the servers cleared unused plates, Lily slowly stood from her chair. Her aunt noticed but did not stop her, sensing something important was about to happen. Lily walked toward the long table, her small footsteps almost silent against the polished floor. Marcus looked up, surprised, ready to signal staff to intervene, but something about her calm presence made him pause. She did not look afraid of him or the room. She looked focused, gentle, certain. Lily leaned close to Ethan, careful not to draw attention, and shared a simple truth from her own heart. It was not advice shaped by adult reasoning, not a solution wrapped in sophistication. It was the kind of thought only a child could offer, pure, unfiltered, deeply human. She believed that sometimes pain came from feeling alone, and sometimes all a broken heart needed was family, even if that family did not come in the way people expected. Ethan's crying slowed. His shoulders relaxed just a little. He looked up for the first time that evening, eyes red but curious. Something in Lily's presence cut through the fog around him. For the first time in years, he felt understood without having to explain himself. The emptiness did not disappear, but it softened, as if someone had placed a warm blanket over a wound that had been exposed for too long. Marcus watched the exchange, confused and unsettled. He had spent millions on consultants who claimed to understand human behavior, yet a small girl with no resources had reached his son in seconds. Something shifted inside him then. Not a business revelation, but a personal one. He realized how little he truly knew about his own child's inner world, how grief had built walls between them without him noticing. That night did not end with a dramatic transformation. Ethan still felt pain, Marcus still felt lost, but a door had opened. Over the following days, Ethan asked about Lily. He asked where she lived, whether she had parents, whether she would come back. Marcus answered what he could, and for the first time, he listened closely to the questions instead of brushing them aside. He learned that Ethan's loneliness was not just about missing his mother, it was about feeling like the only child in a world too big and too quiet. Marcus arranged for Lily to visit again, officially this time, under the Foundation's programs. What began as a formal gesture slowly turned into something more meaningful. Lily and Ethan spent time together drawing, playing quietly, sometimes just sitting side by side. They did not need constant entertainment. Their companionship filled a space that words could not. Through Lily, Marcus saw his son laugh again, not the polite smile he wore for photographers, but a real laugh that came from deep within. And through Ethan, Lily experienced something she had never truly known before: consistency. Someone who looked for her, waited for her, expected her to return. The mansion that once felt cold and echoing slowly began to change, not because of renovations, but because of shared moments. Marcus found himself changing too. He started coming home earlier, canceling unnecessary meetings, choosing dinners over deals. He sat at the table, not as a CEO, but as a father trying to learn. He noticed how Lily thanked the staff, how she treasured small routines, how she treated Ethan not as someone special because of wealth, but as someone special because he was kind. She reminded him of values he had buried long ago under ambition. The legal process that followed was long and complicated, filled with paperwork, evaluations, and moments of doubt. Marcus questioned whether he was capable of giving Lily what she needed, whether bringing her into their lives was fair to either child. But every time uncertainty crept in, he remembered that night at dinner, the tears, the silence, and the moment something small changed everything. Ethan grew stronger in ways that could not be measured by grades or achievements. He became more open, more expressive. He talked about his mother again, shared memories without breaking down. Lily too began to bloom. She slept better, smiled more freely, and carried herself with a quiet confidence born from finally belonging somewhere. Near the end of this story, before we reach its final moments, take a second to reflect. If this journey has touched your heart in any way, please engage with this video. Like it, share it, and let us know that stories like this matter. And just before the ending, we have a special request for you. Please comment the word family if you believe love is stronger than blood. The adoption was finalized on a quiet afternoon, without press or announcements. No headlines were needed. What mattered was the way Ethan held Lily's hand, the way Marcus felt something inside him finally settle into place. The mansion was still large, the world still demanding, but it no longer felt empty. Dinner tables were no longer silent. They were filled with small moments, shared glances, and the kind of healing that cannot be rushed. If this story moved you, if it reminded you of the power of empathy and unexpected connections, please engage with this video from the heart. Your likes, comments, and shares help keep these stories alive. Sometimes, all it takes to change a life is a single moment of kindness. And sometimes, a child simply needs a sister.